Madam Roy back again. It is, what is today, February 3rd?
Yes.
Today's February 3rd, 2015. And this is the walking vlog, or Quest for Fitness. And this time I'm going to do a night walk. Mike and Chris can't do it this week. They're both busy. So I decided to still continue this because, again, I want to get to my goal weight. I'm well on my way to my goal of 330 pounds by next Wednesday. I'm going to do my best. Haven't got on the scale yet, not for 3 or 4 days, and I was down to about 336, so I'm hoping I can get there pretty soon. So we'll go ahead for our walk, and like I said before, if I see something interesting, I'll definitely show you guys.
Gil?
All right, so we're ready to go.
Lock the bottom lock because I got my purse.
Let's head out.
Okay, and we're not here. I'm gonna lock the bottom lock. I have my.
You can see Mom's right behind us.
Hold on, stretch a little.
Okay, we're gonna do some stretches here. Oh, if you guys can see that. I don't want to do a lot, but just enough so we don't cramp up, especially at nighttime, because that's when our muscles start getting tired. That's why the morning is always the best time to walk. You can see Mom's doing some stretching herself. She actually gave me permission to show her on these vlogs, so that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna be walking our neighborhood again today. I know I've showed you this before, but after we're done with our normal round, instead of doing the cul-de-sacs, we're actually gonna walk to the store because we have to pick up a few things for dinner. Oh, Mom's right behind us. There we go. A couple of updates I wanted to let you guys know about. I am still actively looking for another desktop. It's been a whirlwind. I appreciate all you guys out there. I've been getting so many ideas on what to do. Right now, I'm actually looking at a Dell. I know I said this before, but I think this is probably what I'm going to wind up doing. Dell has an XPS model 8700. Right now, they're offering it on a special. You get $75 off with this coupon code that I found online. And they give you a free upgrade to 12 gigabytes of RAM, and it'll cost me like right around 700 and say with after shipping and everything, right around $764. So I have to sell a couple of other systems before I actually pull the plug on this because I want to make sure that, of course, I have enough money to pay it back. Now I was thinking about going with this Dell Preferred program. It's basically like their own line of credit. They go through their own bank. And what you do is they give you deferred payments deferred interest for 6 months. But if you don't pay it within that first 6 months, then they tack on the interest charges. Hey. But I think that I'm not going to go with that because I found out that if you don't pay the whole thing off, basically you're out of luck. You have to pay all those back interest charges, and they don't let you pay with a credit card. So I think I'm just going to wait till I can build up some cash. I'm going to go ahead and put at least half down and then probably put the rest on my credit card. Sorry about that, guys. I wanted to stop because somebody was walking like right beside us for a couple minutes and he was looking like, hey, what's this guy doing? So, yeah, that's pretty much my game plan at the moment. I'm still looking around locally, checking out Craigslist, seeing if anybody has a Core i7 system. I'm still waiting again. I got to sell that Core i7 laptop. So any of you guys locally that watch these videos, if you're interested, I'm selling that one for $350. The specs on that are Core i7. I don't remember the exact model, but it's a 2.4 gigahertz processor. It's got 4 cores, 4 cores, and then 4 virtual cores. So it actually runs like an 8-core. It's got 6 gigs of RAM, 640 gigabyte hard drive, and it's running Windows 7 Home Premium. Excellent laptop. Again, I would have kept it myself, but I really prefer a desktop. I have a hard time typing on laptops because of the keyboard. I know a lot of people prefer them, but again, they're just not for me. So once I sell that, and I think I'm going to also sell my Ultrabook, I should be able to put enough down to where I'll be okay with putting the rest on my credit card. And of course, it'll probably be If I get what I want for those, I'll probably only have to put about $200, maybe $300 on my credit card. So that's what everything's looking like now. Okay, so we're about, what would you say, maybe 10 minutes into our walk.
I want to make sure I got my money in my pocket.
I almost forgot my wallet today. You can see it. We still have some leaves on these trees. I think this is the one I showed you in a previous vlog, and though a few have fallen off, you can see we definitely still have some leaves and some buds on this tree. Just really, really cold out tonight. I looked at the thermometer before I left and it said it was right around 38, but it's got a little bit of a wind, so we're probably down into the high 20s, low 30s with the wind chill here. It's unfortunate when you live in this part of Virginia. You know, it's nice during the summer because you can actually get the breeze off the ocean, but it works the other way during the winter time. You get a lot of wind all year round, and of course when it's cold outside and there's not a lot of humidity and the wind picks up, whew, that just slaps right into your face. I mean, my cheeks are warm right now, but I guarantee in the next 5 or 10 minutes I'm gonna be wishing I brought my hat. Hey guys, check this old Dodge van out. I haven't seen one like this in probably 10 years. Looks like it's still being used for some type of work vehicle. This actually reminds me of the van in Home Alone that Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern drove. You right?
Yeah, it does.
It's the same make, probably right around the same year. I'm guessing probably maybe 1990, 91. Could be newer though. I think they changed the style like around 94. They went to that one that looked a lot sleeker. Looked a lot more modern, but the weird thing with those Dodge vans, they kept that old dash. They had the same dash in those vans, I think from like 1974 up until 1998 with very, very little changes. And they look cool back in their day, but by the time they changed that in 98, it was well past the need for it. I mean, they were just so outdated. See, we've gotten quite a bit of rain recently. You can see a little bit of puddling down there. Again, our neighborhood really doesn't flood very much, so I'm never too worried about it. But where it can get dangerous is overnight if it gets below freezing. If you're walking to your mailbox the next day, you really got to watch it because all this puddled water freezes quickly. Man, it is getting cold, isn't it?
That's why I brought these.
Mom brought her, what'd you bring?
I didn't bring it. It's big enough I can hide my hand.
She's wearing one of my old sweatshirts, probably from one of my high school days.
Probably.
And the leaves are long enough she can put her whole hands and cover them without actually needing gloves. I can sort of do that with my jacket, but it's barely big enough. I don't know if you guys can see this. I want to be real quiet about it. You check out on that house, they still have their Christmas icicle lights up. And this is February 3rd. Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of times these days people don't have a lot of free time to take their decorations down. I know a few people in our old neighborhood used to keep them up all year. You remember, who was in Carmel used to keep their decorations up? It was one of our neighbors. He would keep it up most of the year, sometimes the whole year round. All right. About halfway through our walk now. Really hasn't been anything too interesting. No animals out this night, and of course, most of the birds have flown south for the winter. As you guys probably remember, all we had here are seagulls from the last walking vlogger when I was in City Park. One thing I want to mention, this is probably going to be more for my younger view set. I'm really into watching these old shows recently. There's a couple networks. One is Antenna TV, and the other one is Me TV. And they run the classic shows from like the 50s, 60s, 70s. You got shows like Father Knows Best, Dennis the Menace, Mr. Ed's about the one with the talking horse is really interesting. What I've been watching for a while now is a show called Dragnet, and this isn't the first time I watched it. It used to be on Nick at Night back in the 90s, and for any of you guys that are into the cop dramas now, like Law and Order, CSI, any of those, this is kind of like the granddaddy of those programs. It's about two detectives, Officer Bill Gannon and Joe Friday, and they go out and solve crimes in the greater Los Angeles area. And this was actually filmed, it started in 1966, and they wrapped up the production right around 1970. And the cool thing I thought about it is they were always in a different part of the police station. They always worked for a different department. Like one week they'd be in homicide, another week they would be in burglary, a week after that they might be in traffic. And it really showed the gamut of the crimes that they faced back then, and they're not all dissimilar from what we see today. A lot of drug violence, of course, you know, homicides are, you know, just as much as they had now as there were back then. The only things that really changed is the potency of the drugs, really. But it's definitely something you want to check out. You can see it on MeTV. I don't think they're playing it on Antenna TV right now, but I believe you can also get it on Amazon Prime and maybe even Netflix. So if you guys like the cop dramas of today, check that show out, because this is where it all started. Check it out, guys. I actually did find a bird. I can't really tell. I think it's a robin. Can't really tell from here. He's right here in this tree.
It's a robin.
Oh yeah, take a look at that, guys. There's actually a bird left here. I'm shocked. Well, that kind of made a liar out of me. All right. We're heading towards our local supermarket. We're going to be going to the Food Lion, which is a regional store based out of North Carolina. I think it's Salisbury, North Carolina. And we're actually really blessed to have a store this close to us. When I lived in Carmel, New York, the closest store we had was a little tiny general store that was probably, what, 10 minutes away? Yeah, 5-10 minutes away. And you know, it was really, really tiny. Probably the actual sales area was probably like 20 by 10, if that. Maybe 200-300 square feet, and they just had the basics. Pardon me. Got some allergies going on today. But other than that, if you wanted to go to a full-size grocery store, the nearest one was ShopRite, and that was about 20 minutes away. Probably about 15 minutes out, we had a little one called Seatown, which was more like a regular grocery store, but it's like one of those IGAs for you guys that actually remember that far back. I know, it makes me feel old. But that one, again, didn't really have everything. It was also very, very high priced at times. My mom had actually worked there the last couple of years. She was in the deli. I'm sure you remember that. That was probably, was that one of your favorite jobs? No. No. All right. She liked working there. She liked the people she worked with, but that was kind of like a night gig for a while. All right, so we're coming to the light. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording right here. I might record a little more once we get to Food Line, but if there are a lot of people out front, I'm not gonna bother because it bothers a lot. It's funny how many people get upset in this day and age when you record. So I'll talk to you guys later. Wow, we just crossed that, and as you can see how busy that is, you definitely want to wait for the light. It does have an actual crossing signal there, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I thought I'll just show you guys how close we actually are to this store. You can actually see the back of it right here. That's back of Mom's head. And it's just a little area over here. Now, what we're actually walking up to is what used to be the old railroad tracks. A few years ago, they upgraded and they actually moved them from here to in between the highway, which is right over down that way. Basically, they opened a new shipping facility here. It's actually like a hub. basically all the durable goods, electronics, food, anything you can think of. Once they opened that, they realized they needed to have a better railroad access. So instead of having this, which was a single track, the new one is double, so they can have trains going both ways, or if they have them coming in from one direction, you have them both two going in at the same time, which of course hopefully has been supplying them well. I haven't heard any controversy over it. We're just glad not to have this crossing here, because this used to be a major pain. The gates were right here, if you can see where the pavement color changes. People used to run those all the time because they are so impatient, unfortunately. And I remember back, especially when I was in high school, there was a good number of accidents that happened around here. All right, we're coming right up to the food line. I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.